Yes.
Yes, we are live. Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 8 of Talking Tech. I am your host, Domenico Lamberti. You can just call me Dom. And today we just have Chris.
Hello.
Mark has been lucky enough to go to a Android user meetup done by the guys over at Skyscanner. If you don't know what Skyscanner is, I can't describe it. Just go Google it, download their app. It's actually a really great app, and they're really nice guys. So, episode 8, I kind of can't believe we've been doing this for 8 weeks already and not messed up.
Well, not severely messed up, should we say?
Yeah, step by step.
There's been the niggledy-piggledies, but nothing out of ordinary.
The pains have been easier than I thought.
Yeah.
So, as always, this is the weekly podcast from MobileTechTalk.co.uk. I'm Dom. I guess I'd kind of be like the senior reviewer of the site. I guess that's weird to say.
You push more reviews out than the rest of us. Well, compared to Mark, but I say it's you and Mark are the biggest contributors.
Mark is a
on
force Mark is a force when it comes to audio stuff.
Yeah.
Like groupies at a Beatles concert, they just throw things at Mark. So I think we kind of just need to get into it now. So first on the list is Tesla. Now this is a bit odd. Why would we be speaking about a car company on a mobile technology podcast? Well, Chris, do you want to explain why?
Yeah, so most people would have heard of Tesla. I mean, you even see Teslas driving around in Britain. I've
seen a couple around where I live.
I know one at my old school, and I quite frequently get passed by another going to college Monday, Tuesday. Not ashamed to get overtaken by a Tesla.
Oh, not in this.
If it's a Nissan Leaf, then I am a bit ashamed. But no, Tesla has started making iPhone 6. I think it's iPhone 6.
I think it's 6 and 6S.
All right, 6 or 6 Plus. So they're making for both. So that would be the S and the standard. And they're making iPhone cases, which is bizarre. Now, the link that will be left shows 2 cases. I think they might be working on another one. But they are $45, or what's that converted about?
25, 30 quid.
Yeah, so they're a bit pricey. But then again, it's real leather.
And it's an iPhone case.
It's an iPhone case, and it's
expensive.
Oh yeah, and it's from Tesla.
Yeah, and again, this is I don't remember if you said it. This is so obviously leather cowhide. You can never use all of it. It just doesn't happen like that. This is what they couldn't make into car seats. They decided to make into iPhone cases. They do a standard just case that clips on, and that's that. It's got the embossed Tesla logo and the word Tesla underneath it. That's cool. And then you've got the one I quite like, which has 3 slots in the back for credit cards, which Tesla actually does RFID blocking as well. So
does it?
Yeah, so people can't tap your contactless card and steal some money from you.
I don't have a contactless card.
I do. It is the best, especially when you have a really thin, flimsy wallet. I don't anymore. I used to have a wallet I made out of Tyvek, which
that was what Taylor Martin did on Mod.
Yeah, I bought 10 sheets of Tyvek and made loads of wallets. And the last one I made lasted 6 months, but it was my only one. And I carried my wallet in my back pocket, so whenever I sat down, it would bend my card.
Oh!
And every time it bent, I went through 3 cards in this last 6 months. It would always snap right at the chip. But everything I buy is super cheap anyway. So it's I just tap it, and I'd keep forgetting my card was broken until I had to insert it. And I'm like, ugh. And then when the chip doesn't work, you have to fall back to swiping it, and it feels so archaic. I don't know how Americans still do it.
No, see, when I got my card, I was like, okay, so this new card, which I only got October time, I was like, so this should have RFID in it.
I don't know if it's RFID or NFC. I know the original ones were RFID.
I think it's still RFID.
Yeah. I remember the original Oyster cards were RFID because you used to be able to soak them in acetone and you used to be able to split them apart, and the coil inside, as long as you kept the coil in one piece, you could like sew it into like gloves. So like, you
Oh,
get on the bus, just like wave your hand over the reader.
yeah. So I know. So I was quite annoyed when mine didn't. I was like, ugh. So now I've got to. It's like, I think it was because of my age, because I was with NatWest, and it was with. I joined them when I was 16, so they don't start including them in cars till you're 18, which
Oh, really?
means I don't know. It's because I had the open account when I was 16, and this was before wireless wireless payment, contactless payment was really a big thing over here. So I had that card for how long do you normally have a bank card for? A couple of years.
If you're me, about 6 months.
Yeah, normally it was about. I think it's normally about a year. So I knew my new one was coming up. So I was like, okay, so this should be RFID'd. My mum had to have one at the same time. Hers came RFID'd, but mine didn't. And the only difference is age. I think it's just
I know you can request them.
Oh, can you? I probably should have.
I mean, my mum's had to go get a new one, and hers isn't.
Oh,
she's kind of upset about that.
what? Okay. So I was a bit disappointed. That would make paying at McDonald's a lot easier, because they've got the ones I go to near my college. They've got the touchscreen ones in, so that you don't actually have to walk.
You don't even have to interact with the person anymore.
No, and I thought you had to pay by card, and I think that's been open. They've been in there for about a month, and in that last month, I've had my card rejected and had to go and pay at the counter. 4 times.
Oh, barbaric! I think this month alone is like probably the most I've had McDonald's in about 2 years, and I feel so disgusting. I hate fast food.
I tend to go in the mornings for a coffee, just because it's like literally you walk out my college main entrance, turn right, just go down a bit of you don't even leave the college grounds, go down this bit of a hill, and then just cross a road. Job done. You're at McDonald's.
My college licenses. They're a Costa licensee, so there's a Costa there's a Costa coffee inside my college.
Oh, Costa's so expensive though.
No, because it's inside the college, it's subsidized.
Oh yeah, I suppose it would be.
It's like 80p.
Oh wow! See, where I work, we have
80p for a small, 90 for a medium, and £1 for a large, or something like that.
See, where I work, though we do have a kettle in the back kitchen, because I work at a petrol station. They've got the Costa Expresses in, and I look at the prices. It's like £2.40 for a regular, whatever. It's about £2.40 for a regular of whatever, and £2.70 for a large, and there's not much difference. So expensive.
Getting back onto the original topic of iPhone cases, I almost wish I owned an iPhone so I could buy one of these and then see what they're like, because it's from Tesla, so you know it's going to be good quality. It's not going to like fall apart in 6 months.
It's not jack crap.
The edges aren't going to start fraying like the leather G4 has, and because it's dark leather already. It's not going to. It's not going to really. When it wears, it's going to wear quite gracefully. Unlike like the lighter leathers from like the Motorola series that take in some of the oils, and they just get darker over time. There's not really much more to say apart from Tesla made an iPhone case, and it looks pretty great. Slightly pricey, but what can you do? All right, so moving on. This is like,
This is odd.
Huh?
This is a very odd news story I found.
There is, but
it's cool.
It happens every year, and then I download it every year, play with it for about a couple of days, and then I delete it because I realize, what am I doing with my life? So what we're talking about is Androidify. If you don't know what Androidify is, you download it. It lets you create your own Andy. So if I just lock the camera onto Chris for a second, you can see. Yeah, you get to make.
I made one with some of the new stuff. So I've had a play, and I can see that there's clearly Google Cardboard. We do have a Chromebook Pixel, a couple of new T-shirts, some new phones have been put in. what I'm trying to think what else had. I think we've had a couple of new smartwatches added in, but no, it's nice to see a little upgrade every now and again.
Yeah,
and it's free.
Yeah, that Androidify has always been free. It was kind of like the red-headed stepchild for a while because it hadn't been updated for a long time. I kind of just expect it now to get a yearly upgrade, kind of.
Yes,
I don't often expect it to get more than like an upgrade a year because it doesn't really need to.
No, it's quite simple.
But it's a fun app. It lets you export it. Some of them, I think you can have them animated, can't you? So like the arm.
Yeah,
and stuff
and
like
you can upload them to the Androidify gallery, or you can just take it for yourself. So I have noticed that there is a T-shirt that's glitched. So here's one of the here's one of the original T-shirts. If you go to one of these new ones, it kind of glitches out a little bit.
Oh, teeny tiny bit.
Yeah.
Well, they tried.
They tried.
So yeah, you can head over to the Play Store and download Androidify. Again, it's a fun app. You might only download it for a few days, make a few droids, save them, and then delete it because
some festive jumpers.
Yeah,
they've never been there before. I've noticed festive jumpers were never there.
And they every now and then they add new
devices.
Phones, Pixels. They've got smartwatches and stuff now. So yeah, go and download Androidify.
Why not? It's free.
So Chris, do you want to take the helm of the next one?
Okay, so this is one that I didn't. Well, I'm surprised we've not seen, but I think is a bit overkill. So Japanese universities, the top ones, have banned all watches from exams. So not just smartwatches, which would be banned anywhere. I know in the UK, anything that has a
screen,
screen and digital storage or blah blah. As you can tell, I only did my exams last year, so still fresh in the mind. So smartwatches have become big business. Everyone knows that. You got the Apple Watch, which is supposed to be leading the way.
Oh, it is. By sales, it's leading a lot.
Yeah.
I must say, a lot of people I know that have bought Apple Watches have returned them.
I don't know anyone that's brought one.
I know about 5 people that have bought them, and 4 of them have returned them. And the person that's kept it is like a die-hard Apple person. She's bought like every iPhone when it came out, and she's bought like the 6 Plus and now the 6S Plus. She's got like a 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro. She's already got the new Apple TV. She's like hardcore.
So she's like Mr. Tiebox on YouTube.
I don't follow him, but if that's what he's like, then she's got all of it. And I don't want to say I don't ever see her use it. I see her frustrated with it a lot of the time.
Yeah, so the Japanese universities have obviously banned them, which I understand they've banned smartwatches because you can store the information on there and cheat. But the fact they've banned ordinary watches is a bit peculiar.
Because there are some smart watch type devices
that
have analog faces that still do like vibrations and stuff. So you could essentially store like a pattern, like a vibration pattern in Morse code type stuff. That's really like going at it.
If you got to really set your heart to cheat.
Yeah. But it is possible, and it's easier to just ban all of them. It's easier to ban all watches than say smartwatches, because who's to say a calculator watch isn't a smartwatch?
I had someone that had one of them, but the only annoying thing was it used to beep. So I spun. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then, like a few months later, I know someone that had one there, and all you would hear is beep, 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 and we're like, "Yep, we all know what you're doing."
My what's it called? A friend when I was in school. I must have been in year 7. Oh Christ, I'm feeling old now. It was in year 7. He had one of those Casio watches that could control TVs. Yeah. Every time like the TV would get like wheeled into the classroom, he'd like change the channel, or he'd like play or pause like the VHS player and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had someone just in my last school. He had a LG G3, and he used to go around turning the projectors on and off. because the LG G3 app just seemed to, or the one that was included just seemed to have support for all the projectors in the college, in the school.
That's not too bad though.
Which was quite funny
I'm
because
not a fan of IR blasters in phones anyway. I feel that they're a really antiquated
they're useful.
system. They're useful only because certain things still use them. Like I know a lot of set-top boxes are moving away from IR. A lot of them are now like Wi-Fi Direct or Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So they don't need line of sight anymore. A lot more efficient. So, like for example, the Rokus, the Nvidia Shield TV, and I think the Apple TV are all Wi-Fi Direct.
Yes, I think the Apple TV is. I don't recall ever seeing a little IR blaster on it. But no, I've got one. I have an IR blaster on the M8, which is, let's just say it spans across, if people don't know, it spans across the whole top of the device.
Yeah, that's what the window is for. It's the IR window.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. I mean, like the M7, you just had it in the
power button itself.
Yes, it was just in the power button, which is cool as it's a bit more discreet, but it isn't that much. It's a little less practical.
It's useful if you either can't find your TV remote or if you're like that lazy. Like if you are like super drunk or like just mega stoned, I don't know, that you can't even move off the couch to find a remote, but suddenly your phone's in your hand, that's like when it's useful. Or like my mum, the dog here at my mum's TV remote. It just like destroyed it.
Oh god.
But she had for a long time before she got the Alcatel One Touch Idol 3, she had the LG G2.
Oh yeah.
And she used, because that had an IR blaster, and she didn't like using it because it was so cumbersome.
You don't have that actual feel of where buttons are.
Yeah, that is kind of my main reason for like hating on IR blasters and phones and stuff. The reason I like TV remotes is they're tactile and I know where the buttons are. I don't have to like, it's part of its muscle memory. I can remember roughly what part of the screen to touch. But if I know like the shape of the volume button and I know roughly where it is, I know what one it's going to be.
See, I'm quite lucky with this one for my that I use as a monitor, because the volume buttons are just underneath the big massive D-pad.
Yeah, and even if that wasn't your phone, you'd have to either look at it or roughly guess.
I know it'd be down the bottom.
Yeah,
but no, it's muscle memory, and that's something I can't be bothered to do. or if your remote control batteries are dying.
Yeah.
Or let's say you have a family member that just happens to fall asleep. The amount of times I've sat there and just gone beep beep beep, and he's let's just say he claimed he was watching that as he wakes up. He claims, "Oh, what did you turn that up for? That was loud enough. I was watching that." Yeah. Snoring his head off.
Don't worry, we all have people like that. So moving on, this next one here is deeply saddening to me.
Bear in mind, this is a rumor.
It is a rumor, and I will be extremely unhappy if this happens. So what we're talking about here is there is a rumor that Hangouts, Google's cross-platform messaging app, is going to be dropping support for SMS. So you won't be able to use it as your default texting app anymore. You'll have to download Google's Messenger or use the pre-installed SMS app on your phone. I'd be predisposed to get the Messenger app from the Play Store just because we know it will be updated.
Yes, that's one thing I don't like with the Samsung phones.
Yeah.
Default messaging app.
The default messaging app on your phone, there might be a vulnerability and they won't patch it. But as we found out when Stage Fright first hit, Google updated Hangouts within like a day or two.
Yes.
So, because I use Hangouts I actually use it as a primary messaging app for both SMS and IMs. I'm using WhatsApp a fair bit more lately, but I do use Hangouts a lot. And
I tend to use Slack more. Slack needs to have an SMS client in it.
Oh my god, if Slack has an SMS client, I will leave Slack entirely. We were speaking before that Slack recently got Do Not Disturb mode, And even though I only have Slack notifications turned on for when people ping me.
Is that when they at you, or if they use the word Dom? Because I have it set.
If they do like at mobile_Dom.
See, I have it set for when I have that. I have it set for at Chris Wallace 959, not promoting myself. Or I do also have it keyed in for Chris. So I know sometimes Craig will refer to people like he was trying to contact them, but he forgets to mention them.
I should probably do that. But yeah, so as Sod's law dictates,
it probably will be axed.
The least appropriate time for something to happen is when it will happen. So even if I only get notifications for when people at me in Slack, people will at me just as I'm trying to go to bed, or they'll at me just as I'm about to go eat something, or just as I'm about to go on the piss up. Like it's never the most optimum time.
Do you not take your phone to the toilet with you then?
Not really. It's kind of like thinking time.
That's deadly if I start doing that. Jesus Christ.
Too much time alone with your thoughts is a bad thing.
Yeah, it's very bad.
If Hangouts drops SMS support, I'll be really upset. Because before I was using Hangouts, I was using Facebook Messenger, because for the longest time, Facebook Messenger had SMS support. And SMS support in Facebook Messenger with those chat heads was amazing. So I wouldn't even have to like stop what I was doing to read that text that just came.
Yeah, just a pop up next to you.
Yeah, and then when that dropped, I think my review of it is still on the place. So I was like, dropping SMS, my usage is going to drop, and it actually did. I use Facebook Messenger, but not all that much anymore. I
use it for group chats, so
I just try to avoid group chats. So
it's the Xbox guys, so we've got to talk somewhere. I tried to get them on Slack, and they were like, "Why? Facebook just works."
And that is a thing. Like, it might not be the best, but it really does just work a lot of the time.
And it does get up. Well, that's the main Facebook app, but they do get updated an awful lot as well.
Yeah.
They're never short of little patches. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rumor comes from, I believe it was
Pocket Now.
Yeah, no. It came from Fandroid.
Did it come from Fandroid? I picked it up from Pocket Now.
We've got the Pocket Now article, but it came from Fandroid. The person reporting from this has quite a good track record, so I'm really hoping he's wrong at this point in time. But
I know.
Knowing my luck, it's gonna get disabled, and I'm gonna have to find a new SMS app.
See, the Google did launch. I've got an article here from November 12th, 2014, from Pocket Now. Google launches Messenger app for SMS MMS separate from Hangouts. So I've got a feeling that's what I'm going to end up using.
Oh yeah, no, I can already tell you, if this is true, that's what I'll use.
I've not downloaded it. I've downloaded it when it came out, but I was like, it's just another text client. It's like, for the longest time, I didn't see the point in other clients. It's like, for the longest part, I was like, why are people spending money on Twitter clients?
Because the Twitter app is a pile of shit.
Well, yes, I know it's some things it does not look the best.
There is only one reason why I have the official Twitter client installed on my phone.
Because it's pre-installed.
No.
Oh, wow.
I have it for photo uploads. Because pretty much everything else I ever try and like Talon not always messes up, but like more often than not will hang. I tried Phoenix for a while, it'll always hang. So why
don't you just use if this then that and Instagram?
Because not everything warrants an Instagram post.
That's what I always do. It just makes life so much easier.
Plus, that requires like using if this and that, and I think at this point I'd rather use Tasker than if this and that.
That's been pretty smooth lately. I don't think nothing's ever hung with it. Even when using Carbon, I've got to say that's a very nice Twitter client.
Oh god, I haven't used Carbon in years. I think I surrendered my Carbon like Twitter token because I was like, well, this is a pile of shit. It looks great, but it had like no functionality. It's
very minimalistic.
I think I actually I surrendered my token and then like tweeted James Norton at Nortals on Twitter like instantly and saying, look, by the way, there's now a space, because it ran out of like tokens super quick.
See, now you can just download it and install. I don't think there's a token limit anymore.
Oh no, there is a token limit, but I think like every third-party Twitter app has a token limit. But they might have either relaunched it or.
I think they made it a bit higher.
Right.
Yes, they did make it a bit higher because just on refreshing alone would hit a limit.
Yeah. So
I'm back to the normal Twitter one because it was pre-installed.
I just wish it didn't look so shit. I also wish it didn't perform so shit.
It's got a little bit better, but because my screen is so bright, it's not gonna focus. You pile.
Nah,
that's not gonna focus. It's not too bad, but there is. I will admit the blue and white is starting to get a bit. What's the word? Old.
Yeah. Also, the recent introductions of Moments to Twitter in the UK was not a fan.
I've never used it.
Just don't. You'll be happier with life. It's just not all that great. So, like I said, if Hangouts does drop SMS support, I'll really be upset because I've really liked having everything coming into one place.
Especially when I originally started at MobileTechTalk, I was speaking to Craig quite a bit through Hangouts, and the fact this was before Slack was introduced,
which was my idea, by the way.
Oh, was that your idea? I just was like, Craig was like, oh yeah, we're going to try Slack.
I was like, we can try Slack or HitChat or anything like that. Because I was like, I really didn't want to just email all the time because
that's one thing I was like, why? I don't like emails. Why? My first thought was, why don't we just use Hangouts?
Because group Hangouts is like most things a royal piece of shit.
Yeah, luckily I've never had.
I don't think there is a good way to do group messaging. Like every way I've ever seen that people try and do group messaging never turns out well for whatever reason.
I've not had a problem, honest. Facebook.
I might just be super picky. Like that is very much a possibility.
Facebook's not been too bad. That's pretty stable, and they've just added nicknames.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, we got a bit creative with ours.
So
some of them I will not repeat.
All right. So moving on, before we go down yet another rabbit hole. Sorry about that. So do you remember a little while ago when EE started giving out free battery packs?
Well, I think you had to pay 20p if Mark's article says right.
Oh yeah, no, because you had to text them back, and then that text cost 20p or something like that, whatever.
Okay.
But a little while after launch, there was a fire hazard warning, similar to with the NVIDIA Tegra, the Shield tablet, where the batteries they'd used for that batch, I think, what was the model number, like E106?
E1-06.
Yeah, so if you had a battery pack with the model number E1-06 on it, you take it back to your local EE store, they'll give you a new one free of charge, and they'll safely dispose of the other one. It turns out they all have overheating and fire risks.
Oh, God, yeah.
Now, this is not trying to be funny, not trying to have a laugh. This is serious, Dom. So if you have... No, I just look super high. I'm not. If you have an EE power bar, please take it back to your local EE store for your safety or anyone that is using it. It might not have gone wrong by now. It could still go wrong in the future. They have said, don't risk it. Take it back. They'll give you a £20.
They give you a £20 voucher, which
that you can
gets you quite a bit.
Battery pack or anything you want. Just for your safety, please take this back and get it disposed of. Huh.
Yeah, it kind of leads me on. This is why you shouldn't buy or get cheap battery banks.
Mm-hmm. You've got a couple from EC Tech, haven't you? And they're really well made.
No, I have EC Tech. No, Easy ACC.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
Well, different companies actually, but yeah, they're not too bad. Well, not too bad. They're bloody brilliant.
I will steal that 20,000 milliamp hour one off you.
Actually, I've not taken it out of my college bag. I've not used it lately since having the smartwatch.
See, this Philistine doesn't even use the stuff anymore.
See, I've got the 20,000 and the 10,000 in my bag. My original 10,000 got sold to one of my grandparents, and then the 4,000 I had, my mum was like, "Oh, I'll just pinch that because it's 4,000."
I've got 3 or 4 2000 ones, and they're so old at this point. They're probably only actually about 1000 or 1500 milliamps at this point.
I have a 3000 from Rav Power that I originally started off with down beside my bed as well.
I recently got this one, it's another 2000 one that I got for my birthday. It's really nice. It's aluminium, so it's like really nice and cold now because it's been in my drawer. But then when it's on charge, it gets really hot. But I think what I might do is I might end up buying the 10,000 milliampere one from OnePlus. So if I just go to oneplus.net.
I have the Rav Power one as well, which is also black aluminium, and if anything, does have a very bright LED, but I've obviously not charged it in a while. So as a torch, it's another good little thing. The one thing that I'm finding with most battery banks is they're not shipping with right-angled USB chargers.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how normally you get a straight micro USB cable. Hang on, there's one to hand just if I don't wreck my desk in the process. There's one in this box. I know there is. So most portable battery banks come with these. Wow, it's probably put too many cables in one box.
These infinitely long cables, apparently.
No. Well, this is the longest one I've got from Easy ACC. This came with, I can't remember which one this came with, but it has a straight micro USB cable. Mm-hmm. So just dead bolt on straight, both ends. I would like, and bearing in mind, because of this, I've bent the little pins on micro USB. I've actually bent the whole connector. If you can see, it's not very straight. And the pins I've also bent in. Still works, and I've got another one that still works from a cheapo one. I'd like them to ship with this style, where it actually goes in right angled. Just because
that design would be really great with one of those reversible micro USB cables.
Yes, this is a.
I'd show you one now, but it is plugged in, charging my Xperia Z5 Compact, and it takes like the strength of Thor to remove that cable from a phone.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. This is what should be put on portable batteries, because I know portable batteries are designed to be tossed in your bag. I tend to lean more to tossing them in my pocket.
Same here.
So the fact that these straight cables just protrude out, you're just going to bend them like I have done. I have seen someone snap one of these.
I've seen someone snap a micro USB cable. I've never done it.
I've never done it. I bend them, and I just repurposed them for the Chromecast because that never gets touched. It just sits there. But no, this is what should be made. So USB-C should also come with right-angled connectors. Not to mention, it does look a bit tidier on your desk.
Yeah. All right. So if we go back to first off, before we go back to the original topic, the OnePlus power bank is 10,000 milliamp hours. I think they're Samsung or LG cells. But there's two outputs. They come in black and white, and it's £14.
Yes, that's
probably the one I'd end up buying if I didn't buy like the 20,000 milliamp.
I always thought that was a bit expensive, personally.
I mean, it came out at a time when all the others were super expensive. Like there weren't many cheap ones, if that makes sense. You had like the Anchor 12,000 for £35.
I've not had I can't remember the last time I had an Anchor power bank. I've had one.
I had one, and then I broke it. Like I dropped it, and it kind of like. Back to the original point.
I had one, and someone brought it off me. They were like, "I'll give you about just under what I'd paid for it." I was like, "Yeah, go on then. Why not?" It was about.
So, back to the original topic. If you have one of these EE power banks, take it back.
Yes.
I can't force you to. I can only urge you to. Moving on to the next one is actually something that me and Chris were both quite interested in. Chris, do you want to take this one away?
Yeah. So last year, oh God, now this is getting.
No, it was earlier this year. I think it was like May or March.
I'm going like right back to the beginning. So last year, the Asus Chromebit was announced. I'm sure it was last year. It was.
No,
announced.
it was this year. It was like May or March. I looked it up.
Okay, I thought it was last year, but yeah,
that's how long it's been.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. The Asus Chromebit was announced. it was kept a mystery on pricing, and we knew everything about it minus the price and how much. Just the price.
31st of March, by the way.
All right, so it was announced 31st of March. So we didn't know anything about the pricing or availability, which had review units were getting passed around. I know CNET had one.
Verge had one, Android Central.
Yeah, all the big sites had one. And I'd seen it, and it was, this is interesting. Well, later on in the year, so what, about a couple of months ago now?
I would have said about a month or two ago.
Yeah, a month or two ago, they were announced for sale in the US, which, great. It means that we're getting one step closer, but please just give it to the UK at the same time. We had to wait 6 months for the original Chromecast. Jesus Christ. So it was listed on, about half a month later, it was listed on Amazon as temporarily out of stock. And I know I sent you the link, Dom, and you were watching it like a hawk.
Indeed.
And then all of a sudden, I can't remember what I was looking for. I was looking for something compact, whatever it was. I think I was looking at the new Chromecast. And all of a sudden, as you scroll down on Amazon, you get suggested items. And this appeared. So it's going for $89.99, which I believe is the same price it's going for US.
I believe so. If not, it's incredibly close.
Yes, it's incredibly close. So just a quick recap: the Chromebit will get you 2 gigs of RAM, and 16 gigs of eMMC memory, and it runs obviously Chrome OS. I know Dom has. Well, as soon as it was announced, he was getting ready to import one when he had the money.
Oh, by the way, I've just gone into Amazon US. It's $84.95, so it's £5 cheaper.
Okay, so that's not too bad. And so
it's essentially a one-to-one conversion.
Basically, yes. So everyone, well, not everyone, people were like jumping at this. They wanted it. I know I'd seen people on Twitter going, I want a Chromebit. So now the fact that we can actually buy them, I know Dom wants to buy one. I'm tempted.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to get a review unit first before I drop my own cash on it.
Yes, I'd like to get one because I have an original Chromecast, which
as do I.
I haven't. Well, I will say I haven't used in ages. That's a lie. I used it last night to play a Control-Alt-Delete whilst I was trying to find 2 tablet stands out, which turns out they were not where I thought they were. They were in a different box in the cupboard. But I would like to use one as a replacement to my Chromecast.
I think we spoke about this before.
We've spoken about it before.
I'm coming at it from the
Chromebook.
I'm coming at it from the Chrome computer perspective, and you're coming from it at I want it as a media device type
which
thing.
I believe it should be able. Considering it has the Chrome browser, it should do perfectly fine, even if you have got something on your area network.
Infinitely more powerful than a Chromecast, either first or second generation. And as it stands, there's still a lot of media on the web that doesn't have Chromecast capability. In some ways, actually, like casting media is way easier from a phone. If you are one of those people that watch TV shows that air in America but not air in the UK until 3 weeks later.
All 4 apps just been updated to support it. The BBC apps had it for a while. BBC iPlayers had it for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like if you go on like Chrome on your phone, go to a certain website and stream this show on the computer. There is no Chromecast button, but because of the way Android handles streaming media, there is a certain media player. Like I think it's either called Awesome Player or New, like N with U and 2 umlauts. So it's an Awesome Player or New Player. I don't remember which. But because of that's like the default video player on Android, and the default video player on Android has Chromecast support, you can Chromecast this video stream, and you can watch whatever show you were planning to watch on the big screen. And on a computer that just doesn't exist. You can have the Chromecast extension, but it's like, do you either want to cast the entire tab
or
the
your
entire
desktop?
page? Yeah, and like that isn't what
you want it for.
No, in some places like YouTube is great. YouTube has a Chromecast button on the player.
Twitch does.
Twitch does.
But
most places don't. So in some ways, using it how you want to use it, Chris, would be great. I think the problem with that is Chrome OS is not a 10-foot UI. No. And by 10-foot UI, I mean you're 10 feet away from the TV on your couch with a remote. Android TV has a great 10-foot UI. Apple TV has a great 10-foot UI. Chromecast doesn't have a UI.
It doesn't scale properly for me. I can't say I've ever had Chromecast scale properly.
Really? So is that hangs over the edges and stuff?
Yeah, and I can go in and change all my settings. The
overscan.
Yeah, within the TV settings, and the zoom 16:9. It overhangs 4:3. It looks horrible. Auto just reverts to 16.9. Honestly, that's the biggest bugbear I've had with it, because there's no actual operating system for you to hold like you can in Windows. You can't manually adjust your resolution.
Yeah, and it is kind of annoying. And I think one of my biggest issues with the Chromecast is it's almost too simple for its own good. Like the idea of like everything's controlled by your phone is like, it's super great because you're almost never without your phone. The problem is the phone, as we discussed earlier, is a terrible remote. Now they changed this a little while ago when if your TV supports it, you can use your TV remote to like play and pause certain things with HDMI CEC. So things like YouTube and Netflix that have supported that all the way through, that's great. But things like, oh God, I'm trying to think of some other ones I just can't right now. Some of the media apps I use, like, I think it's like Play Music, won't support play and pause. So I have to go and find the app on my phone. And more often than not, Android has closed the Chromecast app completely.
Yeah, I know how it does that. If you don't use an app for so long, it kind of shuts it down, and then you have to reopen it.
And you'd think if it was casting, and the phone knows it's casting.
Yeah. It tells you just before it fades out.
Yeah, you think it would try and keep it in memory for a bit longer. So what I really want is I want Android TV on the Amazon Fire TV stick, because the Fire TV stick costs like a $5 or a $10 more than the Chromecast.
30. It was 30,
I think it's 35.
It's 35.
And the Chromecast is 30. Yeah. So it's because Amazon has managed, even if Amazon's making a loss on the Fire TV stick, which I don't think they are. I think they're either selling it at cost or they're making a marginal profit. The hardware inside the Fire TV stick is way more powerful than the Chromecast.
The Chromecast
comes with a remote.
Pretty simple.
As shitty as the remote in the Fire TV stick is, it comes with a remote.
See, I've had a go with the Fire TV stick and the remote, and I didn't think the remote was too bad.
Like in and of itself, it's not bad, but it's very like cheap and chintzy. It's light. It doesn't feel very substantial.
Yes, it did feel very light.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say it's a shitty remote. Like,
but I just thought it's just a bit lighter than usual.
I really want a Shield TV, but I don't have £150 to spend on that.
Is that the
Nvidia one?
Is that like the normal one with like 16 gigs of memory? Or the 500 gig hard drive?
No, that's the Shield Pro. I don't have the need for the 500 gigs. But I want Android TV at a lower price point, because the only other way to do that is to get like a second-hand Nexus player. And there are so many problems with the Nexus player that I don't
think I've ever seen a second-hand Nexus player going.
eBay.
Well, it's one of them things you look for. You go out and look.
Yeah, you have to want a Nexus player, and I'm not sure many people do, which is the problem.
I thought it was a nice design, but I can't justify Android TV for me.
Yeah, it was underpowered from the start with the Atom chipset. There was only 1 gig of RAM, 8 gigs of storage. There was no Ethernet, no USB expansion. Like there were numerous issues, and again, like the Fire TV stick, it had a very cheap, chintzy feeling remote that just didn't feel substantial. But I think at launch it costs like $90 or $100. So, and over here it's like £80. It's not worth the money. But a cheaper one in the stick format, because I don't think a lot of people want a box sitting under their TV anymore. They want to hide it.
Yeah, for me, obviously, because I base a lot of stuff out of my bedroom, and I have my TV sat on a set of drawers. With what I used to have like an old, what was it, like an old, or like, yeah, what's it called? Like the stereo units. So I used to use that one of them. So having another box was not a problem. I just put it on the shelf underneath. But to have a TV just sat on a chest of drawers, most things use IR, as we said, although companies are moving away, and to get it in a place of where it would work is a ball ache.
Yeah.
So the fact it's hidden, the Chromecast is hidden, just plug around the back, and if you leave the extension lead on because the light stays on.
See, every now and then I toy with the idea of plugging it into the mains, so I can have it turn my TV on and stuff like that. The thing is, like, I use it every morning. I'm turning my TV on anyway.
Does your TV automatically switch to the Chromecast when you turn it on? Yeah, because I have to remind to the mains because this TV is a bit old and it doesn't have a USB port. But that's the one thing that is like it reminds me that it's there.
Yeah, if I didn't have it plugged into the TV, I'd have it plugged into the mains, and even if my TV was off, if I hit the cast button, it'd wake my TV up, switch to HDMI. I think it's HDMI 3 and the one in my bedroom, and then it would just cast it. And that is just really great. It's really useful. It's I kind of wish everything that had HDMI CEC, which is HDMI Consumer Electronics Control, which again it allows you to use your TV remote for some of the functions of your stuff. So most TVs have play, pause, rewind, stop buttons. You could use those for Chromecast. So going back to the original thing of the Chromebit being available in the UK, the fact it's a one-to-one conversion, I'm kind of pissed off about.
You hate one-to-one conversions.
I do, because there's almost no reason for it. But I want to check it out. I'm speaking to Asus to see if I can get one.
I forgot you had an Asus contact.
Yeah, it's not being all that helpful right now. I'm really trying to get, because I'm trying to pitch it as the value proposition.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Watch 2 is more expensive. Their Chromebooks are more expensive than this. Like, this is kind of like as low as you can go while still being useful.
I know you've haven't you ran?
I actually own one of their Chromebooks.
Yes, very similar design to their X5LA laptop that I've got, which is the I'd say budget lineup. Considering I got an i5, 4 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive, Intel HD graphics, all for just under 400 quid. To get an at the time, to get an i5 laptop with an i5 processor at less than 400 quid was a challenge.
I mean, if you go over to Intel's ARC website, you can know roughly how much each processor costs. And I think, not the i5, but I remember the Core M, when it first came out, was roughly $290.
That's the one they put in the Apple the MacBook, just the original, like the MacBook.
Yeah.
That had that one USB-C and that one 3.5mm headphone socket.
That's other issues for a separate time. But like I said, I do want the Chromebit. I want to check it out. Not sure if I want to spend 90 quid of my own money on it. If I don't,
that's still not bad.
No, it's great. If I buy it and I like it, then I'll find a place to put it. I'll end up putting it in, I don't know, probably end up putting it in like the TV in the kitchen. So if I want to work from the kitchen that day, boom, I can log into Chrome OS and have it all there.
And the fact that TeamViewer now supports Chrome OS, which would be the main way I'd be controlling it, just
you
because
remote into Windows any way you'd want.
Yeah, because you got the remotes on your phone. Like for controlling Chromebit, the remote you just use TeamViewer on your phone. You use TeamViewer on the iPad, which got sat over here at the minute, which is just running the stream on a 4G, and it's not. It seems pretty smooth actually, but 90 quid, bit expensive. But then again, you look at it from it's a computer. It's the cheapest, newest thing you're going to find.
It is essentially my Chromebook, actually. It's got the same processor. It's got half the RAM. I got the 4 gig model, but it doesn't have a screen, doesn't have a keyboard, doesn't have a trackpad, doesn't have a battery. It is literally just...
And it has that annoying barrel
RAM
plug that Mark doesn't like.
Huh?
And it has that barrel plug that Mark doesn't like.
Yeah, it has a barrel power jack, which is annoying. Which,
again,
there is no reason to have them.
Didn't you run a Chrome OS distribution off a flash drive with your computer?
I did from Cloud Ready. No, it's called Cloud Ready by a company called Neverware. It was actually really quite cool. I made sure to do it on like a USB 3 flash drive on a USB 3 port because I don't know if people know this. USB drives are slow.
Yes.
The reason like a USB drive is way slower than your internal hard drive, even though the flash memory is faster, because USB, especially USB 2, is kind of slow. Even USB 3 isn't all that fast because there is overhead. There is USB overhead. So I plugged it into the USB 3 port on my desktop, and it was a good experience. But I think my problem is I'm trying to use a Windows keyboard with a Chrome OS environment because Chrome OS has a different type of keyboard.
Oh, does it?
Not massively different, but like there are no function keys. So there's no like F1 to F12.
Okay.
They all have their own. So there's like back or forward in the tab, brightness. There's reload. There's
yes.
So like whereas F5 is reload in Windows, I think if you're running Chrome OS with a Windows keyboard, F3 would be reload.
Yeah, they have dedicated buttons where with Windows
there's no caps
function.
Lock. Yeah, there's no caps lock, but that's
no caps lock.
You can it's a search button which you can go into settings and then change back to caps lock.
Just if you give it to someone that's never used it before, they're going to go, "What? This button says a magnifying glass. Why no caps locks?"
But how many people use caps lock? Is like on purpose use caps lock. The only people I know that use caps lock on a daily basis are the people that accidentally hit it and can't figure out how to turn it off.
That's the problem I have with this laptop. Is most keyboards on most laptops always have like a numpad and a caps lock and a scroll lock LED. This laptop doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Barnacles or Jerry Berg, he did a tutorial on how to what was it? His case that he had when he had his new PC built didn't have a hard drive LED indicator on it. So being a ex-Microsoft employee, that had worked on a Windows development team, he actually did a tutorial showing you step by step how to make a icon to go in your system tray. I did ask him to make a caps locks one, but unfortunately he hasn't yet.
So moving on, I think that's all I really want to talk about today.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, we had another one in the doc, but I can't.
The Huawei watch, but that's just a rumor.
Yeah, and I can't really be bothered to talk about it. Basically, there's a rumor of the new Huawei watch coming sooner than we thought, but that's mainly because the first model took so long to get here from when it was announced.
And it's supposed to have a women's version, so basically it's going to have a smaller watch face. That's it.
Diameter. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a weird 2 months.
It's been a slow week. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to hit feed. I was hitting Feedly, nothing. I was like, just in case Feedly's missed something, I'm going to hit Pocket now. The Verge, they've got to have something. God, it was hard.
So the weird thing is, this week we're recording this a day late, and that's for obvious reasons. Yesterday was Star Wars Day, and me and Craig both went to go see Star Wars.
I know, but I didn't. I had friends that went for the midnight one.
I did not go for the midnight showing. I went at quarter past 4 and I traveled to Tunbridge Wells to go see it.
I know people that went on like 12 o'clock that morning.
Yeah, the 12:01 showing. I know a couple of people that went for that in like IMAX and stuff.
I was like,
if I could have gone to that, I don't think I would have, because I can't see the point in seeing a film so late at night when you're going to be so tired and you're going to miss stuff.
no, Star Wars is not a thing that I could ever find myself getting into. I've seen bits and pieces, but
it's very much either
or
it doesn't.
It's Marmite, basically.
Yeah,
it's the Marmite of films.
But I very much enjoyed it. I've got my tickets here. I will cherish them.
So Sony didn't give you a Star Wars Google Cardboard.
Yeah, I kind of. I've got the OnePlus Google Cardboard that I paid almost nothing for.
I need to get a VR viewer.
I kind of want to try out the Mattel ViewMaster one. I don't know. I think you might be too young to like have ever had an actual ViewMaster. I'm on the edge of it.
Yes, I do know people when I was younger that did have them.
Yeah, like
they were still being made, but they were being made smaller and just slightly different, but they had the same concept behind them.
So, should we quickly talk about anything we've got in for review or anything that's coming up?
Yep. So, if you picked up earlier on, I have a nice, huge iPad Air 2. Not something Apple products is not something we tend to go. I think the only Apple products we've got is Mark's iPhone 5 audio review. That's it from me. It's not going to be a review as such. It's going to be, is it still worth it? Which will then turn into a review, because I'll turn around and start slating how I hate this thing so much. But I can't really complain. It's done well for just leaving live streams going and YouTube videos. Just everybody needs to sort out their speaker placement, because it's on the bottom. Not micro USB.
Kind of fixed it on the iPad Pro.
Yeah, they put it in 4 places on the side. So
yeah. So again, people that don't know, I mean, this is a BlackBerry Playbook, and it has front-facing speakers like everything should have. The iPad Pro has a speaker here, and here.
Yeah, unique, and different.
So here, and here.
But no, all I will say is lightning connector, super useful, super nice. Does look a bit fragile though, and is fragile. I know people that have snapped them, and I know someone that's got the tip of his where the heat shrink type thing plastic runs out, and he's got his wires exposed. So I'm waiting for that to blow up in his face.
I have literally the micro USB cable my mum was using to charge her phone was like that. There were exposed wires showing, and
I couldn't leave it like that.
I made her give me the cable, and I chopped it up in front of her with scissors. I was like, "You cannot use this cable."
I would, if that was me, I would have just turned around, got a bit of a fucking lot of electrical tape, and just tape this shit out of it.
No, I was just like, "You cannot use this cable anymore," and I made her go get a new cable.
Where did you send it? Powerland?
No, I have like a gazillion in a drawer because I'm me.
So I don't do. I send people to Poundland.
You have the iPad Air 2 with Lightning. I have one of these, which is a.
You have several of them, don't you? You have 2, don't you?
The second one is on its way, but please focus.
I know this is something you mentioned last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think I might have picked up on it slightly last week. So basically, this is how do I do this? This is really difficult.
It's a reversible micro USB cable, is what Dom's trying to say. Is he's trying to refocus his camera. There we go.
This is never really going to work, is it? There you go. You can see it's a different shape to a traditional micro USB cable. It's 6-sided, and it's got a slot cut out so it fits in both ways.
And for those of you that don't know, there's a standard one. Oh, well, my focus is very well, and it's a terrible camera. Yep, so that's the standard one.
And it's got teeth on both sides, so it obviously clicks in both sides. This thing is amazing. It's like the ends here, like these bits here are metal. This is like a really strong nylon braid.
Is it a flat cable as well?
No, it is circular. It's not a very thick.
It looks flat on the camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It really isn't. Like,
Oh, it's very, very fine.
yeah,
The very fine cable.
the 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 nylon weave on it is so tight though. So like if you coil it and then like hold it, it will hold its shape for a few seconds before it decides it wants to uncoil.
Oh, like some of the Poundland micro USB cables.
Kind of, except
But just a bit thinner.
I think this is actually a feature. I think they've done it on purpose. It's like the ends are gold plated, so like the Type A and the Micro B side are both gold plated for better conductivity. That's great. Kind of pricey. I think it's a tenner for the 1 meter, £15 for the 2 meter. But they are like, I would happily buy, and I actually have bought one, a 2 meter one for a Christmas present for someone, because like most people have micro USB enabled phones.
It's industry standard.
This gives them the best part of Lightning, which is the bidirectionality. But
with more strength.
Yeah, a lot more strength. I plugged my phone in, not even my phone, the Z5 Compact.
Would you like to demonstrate again?
No, because I've got it plugged into a power pack currently.
All right.
I plugged it in and I shook the phone.
Yeah, you were doing that,
and it didn't budge. It did not budge. I tried that with an iPhone. It fell off.
Yeah, it's not, the Lightning cable is not a strong connection.
No, it fits in both ways. That's really useful. I don't think. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've seen one really well made Lightning cable, and it's made by Belkin, I think.
Oh, what do you expect? It's Belkin.
Yeah, but like the standard Apple,
it was nice and pricey as well.
I think it was about £25 for 2 meters or so. But the cables Apple give you, they're horrendous, aren't they?
Cheap as chips.
Well, they're not, but they feel like it.
Yeah.
So apart from the cable, I have the Xperia Z5 Compact.
That is tiny.
Yeah. Here it is next to the Idol 3, the small Idol 3. Here it is against the Moto G, which has a bigger screen. There you go. The Moto G is a 5-inch screen.
Which one are you using as your daily driver at the minute?
The Z5 Compact.
And your Moto G's just sitting retired at the minute then?
No, it is on my desk as like an alarm clock type thing. So I'm kind of mixed on the Z5 Compact. There are so many things I love about it, but there's just a couple of things that are so infuriating.
It reminds me a lot of the iPhone 4 and 4S. Design-wise, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not speaking about design. Well, partly design. The first thing is the fingerprint scanner. It is great if you're right-hand dominant. It's embedded in the right-hand side in the power button. So if you are right-hand dominant, it goes straight in. But if, like me, you're left-hand dominant and you have to use your index finger, there's a likelihood. Oh, of course, it bloody works. I'm trying to show it not working. That, my friends, is sod's law. But yeah, because I'm left-hand dominant, there is a lot of times where I have to reposition my finger to try and get it to work because I can never get it in the same place every time. I
would say the iPad also, the Touch ID in it, whilst I don't see the point of Touch ID on an iPad apart from to unlock your device, that's been pretty good. I don't know if any of you have watched or listened to the last couple, but I know when I had, and Dom should remember, when I had the S6 Edge Plus, it locked me out and I had to use a backup password. Long story short, I've got the backup password, reset the device, and started from scratch. Annoying as hell. That was in the space of 2 days. I've had this iPad since Monday, and every time it's picked up my thumbprint. The only thing I will say, if you restart this device, you turn an iPad off for any reason.
You have to put the PIN code in.
It asks for the PIN code.
That's a security thing, though. Yeah,
I thought it was security. It asks for the PIN code on the lock screen and your password in the Apple Store.
That annoys me about this, actually. If I restart this right now, first boot with my fingerprint, I can get straight in. That annoys me.
I don't know. It's the same with the Edge Plus. But I kind of like it that way. Yeah, no password needed.
I mean, but how often are you actually rebooting your phone or powering it down all the way?
When the battery dies. Does
that happen often enough for you? I mean, I usually go to bed with like 15 to 20% left. Or in this case, like 40% battery left.
It's not something I commonly come across. Since obviously ditching my Nexus 7 2012, I've been heavily reliant on the phone that I've used, and there's been a couple of times where I've had it on like 1% with the M8, and I've been like, I've got plenty. This 1% will get me to the other side of the room. Not the case. But apart from it dying because I'm trying to kill the thing, it's not been too bad. That's one thing I wish this had: fingerprint scanner. Then it would be my perfect phone.
You could just go buy an HTC A9, Chris. There you go.
Why would I spend my money on that? Why spend however much?
Why would anyone buy one? Who knows?
Why when I paid £120 for this?
There you go.
Instead of 200.
So aside from the devices we've got in for review,
Mark's probably got another pile in his backlog that he's going to work down on.
Yeah, I mean, I said the Z5 Compact review should be going live on, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Have you got it scheduled?
I should have. I don't remember. And hopefully the cable is going live on Friday, so Boxing Day.
I might try and get the iPad done for New Year's Day. I know I've not got to send it back till the 29th, which is when Royal Mail starts operating again. So
yeah, same with the Z5 Compact.
I hate Royal Mail, Royal Ninjas.
I believe we are done, Chris. What do you think?
Besides the quick mention of the giveaway from his gadget, which does include, I might as well finish it. Which includes a 3-port card charger from iClever, a Power Mini 3000 power bank from Into Circuit, a 15,000 milliamp hour external battery bank from Into Circuit, and a Bluetooth wireless speaker from iClever.
See, I have a 6-port, like 50-watt USB.
I need one
charger, like it's a desktop one. You plug it into the wall and it gives you 6 USB ports.
I need one. I don't know if you saw my Instagram last night or Twitter because they get synced. But I had the world's messiest. I put an extension lead on another set of drawers, and let's just say there was the iPad Pro, I wish, iPad Air. There was the EC Technology earbuds that Craig reviewed that he kind of sent my way, and I keep meaning to. I say keep meaning to send them back. I'm not sending them back. Craig lives about 45 minutes away from me, so 45 minutes is not very much fuel wise, and considering let's just say £3 lasts me a week.
Go meet him in the pub and give them to him there.
Let's say £3 of petrol would last me about a week, compared to whatever it is to send recorded delivery back.
Yeah, too much is what it costs.
Yeah, I think I'll just wait for my new bike and go for a run.
Yeah. So, like Chris said, we've got the giveaway from his gadget. It's got 2 days left. Enter. You have such a high chance of winning, you don't even know. They said there's a 3-port charger, a card charger, from iClever, and the Bluetooth wireless speaker from iClever.
The speaker has been reviewed. If it's the one I think it is. Yeah, I think Craig reviewed it in his early days.
Yeah, we've got a 15,000 milliamp hour external battery pack and a Power Mini 3000 milliamp hour battery pack from Intercircuit. Again, great stuff from great guys. We can't thank them enough. Also, EC Tech and Tilt for the last 2 giveaways. They help us.
are quite a nice company to deal with as well.
They are great. All of those people have allowed us to continue what we're doing here, and we want to help. We want to give it away for you guys.
Yeah, you don't always get the fastest of responses, but when they respond, they are super helpful.
Yeah, like the readers and the listeners of the podcast and the site and the Instagram and the Twitter, they are the reason we do what we do. And without you guys, we wouldn't be able to get the things for these giveaways. So just enter. You never know who might win.
We're a very low-key site still at the minute. We are growing.
Yeah.
But we're at the point where anyone can win.
That increases your chance of winning. So, unless Chris has anything further to say, I think we can sign off.
No, that's it. Oh, this iPad is too big.
The man has spoken. So you can find us at www.mobiletechtalk.co.uk. You can find us on Twitter at MTTFeed. On Instagram, we are Mobile Tech Talk. On Facebook, we are Mobile Tech Talk UK. And on YouTube and Google+, just search for Mobile Tech Talk. Until we get bigger, they won't give us a personal URL, and it sucks balls.
Although, just if you do search for us on YouTube, just refresh when you. I know sometimes I've searched for it in the past. It's not brought the channel up. Just go to your settings and make sure you hit search channels, not uploads. Little helpful tip from me.
So thank you, Chris, for joining us today.
I believe this is our last podcast before Christmas.
And I was just about to get to that. Yeah, we're not having one next week, so it's Christmas or
Eve.
Yeah, it's Christmas next Eve. Thursday. No, it's Christmas next Friday.
It's Hang on. It's Christmas
Eve when we possibly be podcasting. We're not podcasting on Christmas Eve. And we're not podcasting the week after because that's New Year's.
Are we podcasting any point in that week? Or
I don't think so. I think we're taking
to the New Year.
Off. Yeah, I think we're taking 2 weeks off to recover and recuperate on 8 weeks. Well done.
Try telling that to Mark.
The time we've been on air, we're taking off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll carry on speaking to Chris, but thank you to all the people who download this, who stream it, who watch it on YouTube. If you find us in iTunes, please rate us. It really helps us get discovered. Actually, do me a favor. Just give us a 5-star rating. Don't actually leave a review because when was the last time you actually gave? When was the last time you actually read a review on iTunes? If you just give us 5 stars, you could put anything. Oh God, what? Like put hashtag Raspberry Pi in the review. I don't like. Yeah, just give us a 5-star review. That really helps with the ratings.
Trollers, just trollers on iTunes with a 5-star review.
And that means more people get to see us do this crazy
and
stuff.
Trollers.
Yeah. So until about 2 or 3 weeks from now,
just a quick one. The next Thursday, the first one in the new year, is the 7th. So you probably find us around the 7th. Just keep us peeled on Twitter.
Thank you for that, Chris.
More service out.
I have been Dom. This man has been Chris. I am at mobile_Dom on Twitter. He is at Chris95 or Chris Wallace 959.
He'll get that one of these days, Dom.
One of these days. At Chris Wallace 959.
Everywhere.
Until then, goodbye.
Goodbyes.